Hi, I'm Olivia. This is AV Club, where we talk about horror, lit fic, weird books, whatever I want to talk about. And yeah, it's been a minute, but today I'm back to talk about my August TBR. So the last video that I posted was my birthday book tag, which I posted while I was away in Sydney on my birthday trip. When we came back from that trip, we were both sick, so I took the week off to recuperate because I didn't have a voice. So, it is what it is. I'm not professional enough to have that much backlog to pull from if I'm not up for recording. And yeah, then last week I've just kind of been in a rut since I've been sick and just not wanted to put on makeup or get ready. For me, that is the hardest thing about putting together a booktube video, or like the thing that's historically been the hardest for me. Um, I mean, it's not the thing that takes the most time. Editing takes the most time. Planning, recording takes a lot of time. But to overcome the hurdle to put on makeup and to be on video, that's still something that I sometimes struggle with. But I just pushed through it today. It's really not that serious. So I'll be posting my July wrap up soon. I have some other stuff planned. I've missed some stuff that I've had planned because I was sick. So yeah, it's been a couple weeks, but I am so excited about my DVR. The theme for this month is All in August. And All in August is something that Roya at RG's Devilship came up with, and the idea is that you are just reading deeply from one author for the month. So she is reading from Stephen King. I had some that I definitely could have picked. I have a lot of Philip K. Dick backlog, and if I didn't have anything else that I had already committed to, then I would be reading Lord of the Rings. It was something that I wanted to read this year. I don't think it's gonna happen this year. Maybe. I don't want to count anything out, but I already have a commitment, and that is that I need to read House of Leaves for my book club, for my video game book club. House of Leaves, What Remains of Edith Finch are our picks for quarter 3. At No Cartridge, GG No Reread. The podcast episode will be up at the end of September. We'll have a live book club here on my channel at the end of October. Please join. It would mean the world. Even if you read House of Leaves like years ago, you don't need to reread it. Just show up. You don't have to play the game too. I mean, we'll be talking about it together, but just I would love your support. It would mean so much. Because I needed to read House of Leaves this month, I really loved this idea. And it was either I could read more Danielewski. However, I'm taking this in a little different route, which I guess, considering this is the first time this event has ever gone on, taking it in a new and exciting route is maybe it's not ideal, but it's what's going to happen because I don't have any other choices, and I'm really excited about my TBR. So yes, I will be reading House of Leaves this month, which if that was not already a commitment into itself, you can see that I've started my reread of it. I've never finished this before, so this will be like my first full read. If that wasn't enough to commit to for All in August, I have decided to go all in on House of Leaves. And what that means is there are so many books referenced within this book. Some of them real, a lot of them fake, but some of them real. And so we are going to be focusing on those books this month. House of Leaves is a book that I've been aware of since high school, I guess. But I only ever first thought of reading it actually after Roya posted a video about how to read it. And from what I remember of that video, she stressed that if you're reading it, you should really only be reading it. Like, commit to just reading it, don't mood read, just read the book and don't read anything else, is what I remember from that video. Well, the first time I tried to read this, I thought I was so special and I could keep mood reading. No, I failed. So how's it going to be different this time? Well, I'm not going to read any other novels, and I think that's the biggest thing, is that if I commit to everything else that I read not being fiction, and I just commit to nonfiction, essays, poetry, then we'll be in good shape. Because the thing is, whenever I'm reading this, it's gonna have to be during my daytime hours where I can write notes, etc. But I always read on my e-reader before I go to bed, and I always read audiobooks whenever I'm on walks or I'm in the shower cleaning. I always have audiobooks on the go, so I'm going to have to read something else too. A very helpful person on Reddit years ago posted every single thing that was referenced in like the first 10 chapters of House of Leaves, and that's really what I pulled this from. One of the poetry collections that is mentioned multiple times in this is Rilke, the selected poems. Will I be reading all of this? Time will tell. But what's really cool is I actually inherited this copy from my grandmother. It was one of the big things that we had in common was a love of poetry, and something that no other member of my family on either side. It's poetry, aesthetic pursuits, none of those are on their radar. So it was something that was really special between me and my grandmother, and this is actually her copy, and it is actually the very edition that is referenced in this book. So it says like this word is on page 53, and yeah, it's on page 53 of my copy. So I think that's really special that I have that connection with my grandmother. I could have read this anytime, but now that I'm reading it there, it just feels like divine. And then I also have some nonfiction to read on my e-reader. The essay that's mentioned in House of Leaves is The Reality Effect, which is within the Rustle of Language by Roland Barthes. I've read most of this essay so far. Very interesting. I love reading Barthes. So also on my e-reader, I have The Reconfigured Eye by William J. Mitchell referenced in House of Leaves. And The Reconfigured Eye is about the post-truth world of the visual image, so the digital image. Once we're seeing things on screen or on video cameras, how can we trust it? Again, I haven't read it yet, but it sounds very interesting, and I think it'll be very interesting to read in the context of considering AI, generative AI imagery. And gosh, I could talk about AI so much. I cannot tell you how much I hate looking at generative AI pictures. It is like an affront to humanity. Like it's so deeply sinister, evil, crazy. So really looking forward to reading that, as well as The Poetics of Space by Gaston Bachelard. And Danielewski actually wrote the introduction to a new edition of it because he was inspired a lot by the writings of Poetics of Space. I didn't even introduce the idea of House of Leaves just because I assume it's on everyone's radar. But from what I gather so far, it's a book about a weird house that's been captured on film, being impossible in some ways, being maybe evil in some ways, that there should be hallways where there's not, or hallways that just go on for too long, the weirdness of it, thinking Skinamarink, just like bad house, eldritch horror kind of feeling is what I'm getting. It's also very postmodern. Like there are so many footnotes, and sometimes the footnotes will just take on a narrative, and you'll be reading a footnote for multiple pages just from the guy who's annotating about a time that he went to a bar, and there's a lot going on. I've also taken a sneak peek in the back, and it plays with form in interesting ways. So I assume everyone is on the same page as me with House of Leaves, and it's a book that a lot of people are aware of, but is definitely a commitment to read, kind of like a Infinite Jest of sorts, like an Infinite Jest for the girly pops. And as far as audiobooks, I've checked out a couple from the library that are about kind of the sociology of spaces, and it's not so theory, it's just kind of nonfiction scientific writing, borderline scientific, I guess, a sociological understanding of how spaces that we spend time in, houses, hospitals, schools, how they impact us, and impact us mentally, our physical health, etc. Those were not mentioned in House of Leaves, of course. They're just lagniappe. But then also on Scribd, I have saved Mazes and Labyrinths, which is a book that is referenced in House of Leaves. So back on the real all-in reading list. But I think all of it will really come together to not only create like a really interesting reading month, but also will help me whenever I'm preparing to record the podcast episode. I have never dedicated a whole TBR to just committing, thinking about one book and really looking at it from a lot of different angles. It kind of reminds me of being back in university. My undergrad was in English with a focus on linguistics, criticism, rhetoric. So it's kind of back to my roots in a way. I really wish that I could participate in the all in the way that it's meant to be done, because I really would have liked to really commit to like Philip K. Dick for a month, or doing Lord of the Rings in a month, something like that. But this is also really exciting to me. If I get all that done, I may have to start reading some arcs at the end of the month, but I'm hoping that I can kind of aim to get that at the beginning of Shorty September. Oh, don't even get me started. I'm so excited that Shorty September is back. And if you're not aware what Shorty September is, I'll link Heather's video announcing it in the description, but it's about reading books under 250 pages for September. I save up a TBR for it all year. It's going to be great fun. But anyway, it was so nice to be back with you. Shake off the old cobwebs. I can't wait to hear what y'all are reading in August. If you're participating in All in August, I'd love to know what author you're reading. Or if you're not participating, but you like the idea of All in August, what is the type of author that you would like to read all of just for a month to kind of look at how their style evolves, to compare, contrast, or just really enjoy an author for a month? I think it's a really good concept. Maybe I'll still get to Lord of the Rings, because I do think that this November I will be doing a no regrets November. I don't know if anyone's ever coined that before, so I don't know if I'm starting something new, but that's what I will be doing in November, is a no regrets November. So if you like the idea of that and you want to do something with me, let me know. But I will talk to you again very soon. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for spending time with me. Like, subscribe, comment, all that business. Bye.